we're ready. Good evening and welcome everybody to the regular Gilbert Council meeting of Tuesday, May 11th, 2021. We'll have the roll call, please.
Councillor Heitzman. Here. Councillor Skenzich. Here. Councillor Leone.
Here.
Councillor Pulis.
Here.
Mayor Oberstar.
Here.
Let the record show Administrative Clerk Paulson, Deputy Clerk Goulin, Campground Manager Flanagan are all in attendance. Also let the record show Sue DeBoss, Library Director, is absent with notice, and City Attorney Brian Lindsay is running late and he sends his apologies to the council. He will get here as soon as he can.
All right, thank you. We have obtained a quorum for the meeting. Next, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Would you all rise? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have 3 additions to tonight's agenda, Council. First of all is approval of the consent agenda format. In an effort to utilize time more efficiently, a consent agenda portion of the regular council meeting has been reviewed by the council at a working session and has been able to be brought to the meeting for approval. It will streamline the council meeting a little bit better. Second of all, additional work on Sherwood Forest Recreation Area. The City of Gilbert has $15,411.21 remaining in the grant funds for work at the Sherwood Forest Recreation Area. Attaches a proposal for $32,700 worth of work at the beach and close to the ball field area. $21,788.79 would come from the campground funds and $15,411.21 would be grant. This would close out the grant and allow us to apply for a new grant. Add this to the agenda. Get that on the way. Good for Gilbert. And then we have a request by the Gilbert Alibi Bar for Resolution 2021-11. The bar has previously had Chikagami Gaming providing their charitable gaming activities at their location. The Alibi Bar has chosen to replace the Chikagami gaming operations with the Virginia Elks Lodge charitable gambling. I'll be reading that resolution and I'll get approval and just transferring over, I guess. Somebody want to add those 3 to the agenda? You're okay?
I'll move to approve the 3 items to the agenda.
Motion by Councillor Pulis, supported by Councillor Heitzman to approve these 3 items to the agenda as read. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carries 5-0. All right, approve the April 27th, 2021 council working session minutes.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Moved by Councillor Skenzich, supported by Councillor Leone to approve these April 27th, 2021 city council working session minutes. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carries. Motion for April 27th, 2021 city council regular meeting minutes.
I'll move to approve those minutes.
Motion by Councillor Heitzman, supported by
Second.
by Councillor Leone. Any more discussion?
Mayor,
Councillor Pulis.
I wasn't here to go over this, but I'd like to add in one for the number H there for Crystal Brown. I think we also need to recognize her for getting the campground up and ready for Wendy I think she did a tremendous job in that project, and that needs to be recognized.
I'm okay with adding that to that part where we, Crystal Brown's resignation, include that honor and thanks for their service on that. Everybody okay with that? Adding that to that portion of the minutes? All right. Other than that, we add that to the portion of the minutes. Everybody okay? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. May 4, 2021, Joint Cemetery City Council Board minutes. Moved by Councilor Heisman, supported by Councilor Skinsich. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Public input. Anybody in the audience tonight on TV, on internet, on phone, on Zoom, wish to discuss anything with the council?
No one on Zoom,
Are we on Zoom?
no one on Zoom wishes to address.
Okay. All right. Nobody on
People on Zoom.
on the phone. On the phone. Nobody on the phone either? There's a phone call, right? Phone number, right? All right, hearing none, seeing none, we'll move on. Reports by mayor and council. Okay, I'll go. Councilor Skinsich, you want to go first?
No report at this time.
Councilor Heitzman,
No report at this time, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Leone,
No report at this time.
Councilor Pulis.
I only have one thing to address, and obviously, Gilbert, they like to say stuff on different places and different sites, but one thing I will address is I can't speak for everyone on the city, on the council here, but I know that there was a rumor said that us as a council said that we don't want public input, it's not important. And my name was associated with that, and I'm putting it out in the public that I said no such thing, and I am not associated with that wording. So just putting it out there.
Exactly, Councilor Pulis. So if there's rumor going out that we're going to take away public input, we are not taking away public input.
It's a statement, so you know.
Yeah, that you're going to come up in public input, huh?
We hardly ever have any public input.
Yeah, well, right. And if you're going to come up and you come up to the microphone and state your thing, but you can't come up constantly, okay? And there's no way we're not getting away rid of the public input.
I did have one more thing.
Okay.
Talking to a couple people in Gilbert and stuff, talking about, we have, as a city, we have all this land out here that we own and stuff. And maybe with the housing shortages and stuff, we maybe can come up with a plan or a solution to where we can either give them the land and let them build a house on there, or maybe we find a way to build the house and sell it for what the cost was of building the house on, the frontage properties and stuff like that. It's just an idea that I was throwing around.
Very good idea. I will just tell you that when I got in office here a couple years ago, I approached a builder on the same issue of city land. Especially down Sherwood Forest Drive, there was talk many years ago of condos down there or some kind of apartment complexes down there, and that's never happened. Got a couple down there, but there was they had leases on that for gardens and for firewood, and they were told the time is up. We want that land because we want to do complexes. And like I say, things come up and things go away. That's how things go on councils. And I asked this builder if you could come with a plan to the council, that you would put up 3 or 4 out up to Nebraska Avenue here. So many complexes. Maybe the council would consider give you that piece of property within 2 years to build, to do just that and get these 10 homes on the tax rolls here and into our community. And same kind of idea you're talking about, right?
Yep.
I'm all for that. Absolutely. I am for that. I'm sure.
Try to find the materials local, of course.
What's that?
You try to supply the materials local, so you're supplying the community and the local businesses.
Right. It's a builder, local in Gilbert, builder. And I've also tried to entice assisted living establishment for a piece of property in Gilbert here. And me and Jim, a lot of these places have approached Gilbert and they want to not be put on a spot, like they're considering it. So we can't mention their names, and that you do some research, and then all of a sudden, either it happens or it don't happen. But they want to. I can't bring up the names because that's what they don't want. So I can say council and people of Gilbert. There's been many considerations of different businesses and things coming to Gilbert, and after doing some research of their own, everybody's got things. I wouldn't say fell through because it never got to us. You know what I mean? So, and we're always open, very open-minded here, council. I've been on a lot of councils. I mean, I'm very pleased with this council. Very pleased. We've got some bright, talented individuals here that want to do good by the city of Gilbert and have some good ideas to bring forward. And I'm really, really pleased here. And we all get along together, even if I don't think we disagree much around here. So, and that's okay. We do, but hopefully we can come to a good, logical explanation of why, if we disagreed, why we did. You know what I'm saying? Not just outright, no way, So, no, I'm real pleased with this council, and not that don't give up on it. A lot of things, Gilbert's got a lot to offer here. Anything else, Councilor Polis?
Oh, that's it. Thank you.
Again, there's no way we're getting rid of public input. But like I said, I had told you earlier this evening, was brought to agenda in 1986 by the mayor's request. The mayor's request was scrapped out of that line somewhere down the road here in the last 20-some years, 30 years. Just public input there. I don't know. Yeah, okay. No. All right, anybody, my turn? Okay. Main Street project. Well, they're putting up today some detour signs. I don't know if they put them up or not, but I think 17th, next Monday, they're really going to get hot and heavy on the street here, starting at 135, coming down to the VFW area, and then closing and reopening up the main street for the 4th of July weekend, and then back on July 5th, start work again, and into the middle portion of the main street. 3 blocks at a time, I think, about 3 blocks at a time, moving, you know what I mean? No detours, half, this half and this half. And I hopefully that the highway department has reached out to all the businesses about how it's gonna affect the business, you know? So, and hopefully things are worked out with the post office and the business down at that end of town, how to get around to back to them or going across the main street to get to them. You know what I mean? So hopefully that's been all worked out. And they've been told to work it out, the highway, Doug and them, so to work these things out. I didn't review that hearing that the Doug had with everybody, if that was ever brought up at that, and that,
Yep, that was addressed. Yeah.
It was
We've been
addressed there.
assured that DOT is working with the business owners.
Yeah, okay. And then the rest of what I got here can be, has already been done. Is John gonna be in? John over there?
I'm here.
All right. We'll get that when we get to your place and then your spot and to Sam's spot. All right. City attorney is not here. We'll pass till he gets here or not gonna be here. City engineer, well, might as well get right back to John. Okay, John, you can start off first and then I got something for you.
Okay, well, we had a couple updates. We had a meeting with Masabi Bituminous this morning to review their schedule on doing the upper lower alley work. They're getting geared up to get going. Should start seeing them working on all the avenues starting next week sometime with some underground work. They're going to start on the Iowa Avenue storm sewer and sanitary water line. We're getting a change order proposal from them. The water line that broke on Indiana Avenue Alley last winter, we're asking Masabi through Joel and Sop, their subcontractor, to give us a proposal to replace that water line. Otherwise, we explained the schedule with the Main Street project with Hewlin, so they're going to just try to stay consistent with that work and, you know, get it completed. And the only other item I had, we did talk, and I don't know if it was added to the agenda. I missed the first part of the meeting, the quote for the parking lot drainage. Jim, was that added as an?
Yeah, John, that's our add number 2 additional work at the
Okay.
Sherwood Forest Rec area.
Okay, I didn't know if it was added. I just wanted to bring that up too. That's all I had, except again for some additional agenda items here.
Okay, I've got, go back. I've got Mr., well, I won't mention names. I got a resident down that lower part of town down there and claiming that there's a sewer smell down there. And on that end of town, we had a line blockage last year in the spring from this main sewer line, our main backbone of our sewer line. Everything comes into it and into from that direction into it. And I've been hearing on our end, we can't find nothing for, now this has been going on 2 years. And now I completely still are getting, and we went down there a few times, right? And we never smell nothing, but they're smelling it all the time. And there's been a line blockage down there. So, and we went, Jim looked through the minutes. We tabled, we need to televise this line from the sewer plant all the way down to Kansas Avenue. We tabled it in September of 2020. September of 2020. It was 22 bids, 20,000 and a 22,000, I think it was. I know we didn't add that. John, where is that? Where are we at with that?
Well, the way I understood when we got those quotes, the council tabled those quotes and they haven't done anything with them. So that's where it was left last fall.
Okay, well, we're not gonna add it to the agenda now, and it's a big enough item to not to just take up right here. Can we add this, okay with council? Add it on to the next meeting to get this thing done? Televise this line, our backbone, our main priority. We've got, I think, a 24-inch line, an 18-inch line, 10-inch line. It goes kind of like one of those telescopes. It just keeps on getting smaller and smaller. I think it's too small down on that end. And once upon a time when Gilbert did all this, there was nobody on that end. But now we have Fail, Sparta, Genoa coming into that backbone. We have a lot of more people living down that end. So we have a small pipe down at that end. We had the bigger pipe on this end because that's where Gilbert was mostly congregated down here. So we might have to make this pipeline constant all the way down as one size instead of having all these different sizes. Depending on what we see in that television too, okay, camera. So everybody's okay with putting this on the next council meeting? John, which one did you, we can, which one did, we gotta go by the 20 or 22,000? Which one we gotta do?
I would have to dig that out, Mr. Mayor. I can't, I'm looking on my computer right now, but we can get that information. And who the low bidder was when we took those quotes back then and see what their
You have to
possible
rebuild this thing?
schedule could be.
Yeah, they were, the bids were, if I remember right, they were about $400 difference between the two.
I recall them being real close. I
Yep.
agree.
And John, since it's 6 months now, we're gonna have to rebid those.
Well, we might have to, I guess. Let me talk to him. I think,
Well,
typically we take quotes and we didn't take any action, I would assume, by tabling it. So, I mean, we could, if you could mutually agree with the low bidder, if the price seems to, I don't know, maybe it's a city attorney question, but we didn't reject them before. We just didn't, the way I understand it, they were just tabled.
oh. Okay, we got some time. Let's go, we can make a motion here as right now to go allow you to rebid. All right? I'm not gonna take a chance on, it's under $25,000 anyway. I don't want to hold the contractor 6 months. A lot of things have happened. Prices of different things have gone up. I don't think we can hold them to that price. That's the same thing with our water tower. We hold it off another year or two, prices are gonna go up. And so I think is the safest thing to do for the council is give John a motion to go ahead and rebid that televising of that main line down there. Moved by Councilor Pulis, supported second by Councilor Leone. Any more discussion? John, you're okay with that?
Yeah, we'll get it, but yes, we're in good shape, yep.
Get a rebid on that, okay? And whatever
Yeah,
timeline, you figure out the timeline on that, all right?
Yes. Got it.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. All right. Okay, that's that. All right. Anybody else got anything for John? Okay. Anything else, John? Good luck.
Thank you. We'll get it.
We haven't heard nothing back from, well, that's coming up anyway, so. Chief of Police Thai teacher is in a meeting. Well, with Ty, I'm gonna pass this on to Jim. I don't know if Jim was here when we were in the working session, you stepped out. We need to contact Highway Department on I-35 coming in to town on the top of the hill. We have a 40 mile an hour speed limit coming down the hill, and then about half a block down the hill on the other side of the road, we got 60 mile an hour speed limit sign going up the hill. So we got people going up the hill at 60 miles an hour and people coming down the hill at 40 miles an hour. And the problem is we got folks trying to cross the road up there by two areas there, Court Street and Pleasant Street, or I think it's Pleasant Street and another fourth court up there that can't go across because these people are going at 60 miles an hour already. And what the working session, we council decided coming in from Indiana, just coming past Indiana, 40, and on the other side, going that way, 60, higher up on the top of the hill. Follow me? Not down halfway down the hill, have a 60 mile an hour speed limit going up the hill and a 40 coming down the hill. Follow me? Move these speed limit signs up. Yeah, thank you. And I want to thank St. Louis County for patching up Indiana. I don't know if it's completely done now, or but I know it did a good chunk of it. I know that. So, all right. Anything else we got for Ty? Only Public Works Director, Sam Lotiger.
Good evening, council and mayor. What I got is, the televising service, I believe that was under John's, we handled that. Next would be the seasonal summer hire. We actually had two applications, one turned down the offer, had a job elsewhere. Which the one that we are gonna hire would be Kevin Lind. So far, I'd like to get him hired and get him started, next week sometime here. So we get the grass cutting. We still have are taking applications through these weeks until we get another applicant.
All right, council, go ahead with the hiring of summer hire of Mr. Kevin Lind. He's been here before.
I'll support that.
Motion by Councilor Pulis to summer hire Mr. Kevin Lind, supported by Councilor Heitzman. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
Mayor?
Thank you.
Jim?
Mayor, since we're talking summer labor, and me and Sam talked about this earlier, a couple of months ago, 6 weeks ago or so, council approved working with Vermilion Community College on an internship for a student at our water plant and wastewater plant. And earlier today, we got some information. The financing, the financial aid through the college changed a little bit with President Biden's last set of rules. So the intern can work up to 15 hours for us through the internship. If we wish to have her work more than that, we would technically need to hire her as a summer employee. So I wanted to bring that to the council. We still want the internship. I'm going to ask the council if we can extend by 25 hours a week to bring her up to not to exceed 40 as partial internship, partial summer hire for water plant, wastewater plant.
And still have Sam go out for another summer hire?
Yeah, this is similar to what we did last year when we hired one for the water and wastewater plant. So this one would basically be extending the internship hours, but the city's on the hook for those 25 hours a week. So, and the Vermilion's covering, 75% of the first 15 hours. So it's a little confusing, but it's just some different rules that Vermilion Community College has to follow this year, so.
And we still can hire a second labor for the Public Works Department,
Correct.
that comes out of sewer fund one, and then there's Public Works comes out of these other two guys.
Correct.
positions.
Yes.
Okay. So it doesn't hinder that at all.
Does not hinder that.
Okay, I guess, let's make a motion to go approve that, Vermillion College request to add the hours, like Jim's,
Yep. The intern's name is Cassandra Hall.
Sandra Hall, and, add up the hours, to the administrator's liking, okay? I'm okay with
Make a
that.
motion for that.
I'll second.
Motion by Counselor Skansich, supported by Counselor Polis to hire at the sewer wastewater treatment plant Sandra Hall with the additional hours as Vermillion College has asked us to add under the new program that they have up there for these internships.
Yes, and all the terms are all spelled out in the contract they gave us.
All right. Any more discussion on that? Counselor Iceland, no? Okay. Yeah, very good. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, for that. Other than that, there's a report, getting kind of busy with water shutoffs. As you know, the water meter project started. It seems like it's going pretty good so far. It's only the second day of it, but sounds like they'll be ramping up here. So that's all I got on that, unless anybody else has got any questions on the water meter stuff. But it seems to be going pretty good.
Okay.
Go ahead. As far as everything else, I know we've been pretty busy. We've had water plant meetings, sewer plant meetings. I know we had alley pickup, which went pretty good through, we had it out for about 2 weeks, and we hauled quite a bit of leaves and sticks and brush and stuff away. As of now, we turned on the water up at the cemetery. That's started. We got a guy starting to go up there and mow lawn now, trying to get that ready for Memorial Day. Other than that, it's been a pretty busy spring so far here. So just keep plucking away at everything. That is all I got for report, unless council or mayor's got anything to me.
Okay, I got Counselor Iceland.
I have something to ask of you, Sam. Down at the Minnesota Little League field, there's a set of bleachers that's missing a railing. It's as simple as that. It's missing a railing. If that's something that you could look into, correcting just for general safety procedures, precautions, that'd be great. Yeah, do you know
Yes.
the bleachers I'm talking about?
Yep, we can get that on.
I don't know if you have to beg, borrow, or steal one from inside the Skenzich Arena or fabricate one out from,
We probably have to order some stuff.
if you could look into that, that'd be swell. I'd appreciate it.
Yes, we can.
Thanks.
Thank you, Counselor Heitzman, and thank you, Sam. Counselor Polis.
Sam, I know
Yes.
I talked to you about this already, but do we have any update on that pump that's being rebuilt for the West French area over in Genoa?
Nothing as of when I dropped it off, and that was about 2 weeks ago. So I'll touch base here with Molten Electric on when they can get that motor to us, if it's any earlier here, and I'll send you a message. what I hear
Okay.
back.
And then that fire on East French last week, was there any more damage to anything else that we know of?
Nothing happened for us. That was all Minnesota Power's stuff. It was just a small little grass fire. So
Okay, thank you.
One other thing I have, Sam, Summit Street, where we have the sidewalks. There's some areas that homeowners have their brush, like between Wisconsin and Minnesota, going over the sidewalks. We need to talk to the homeowners, and let's get that, or you get this brush and the sidewalks, uneven sidewalks taken care of somehow by fixing them or making sure, leveling them, or put some ramps or something where people are walking so we don't get hurt. I think over on New Jersey, there's I know, you open and close on the sidewalk, or they go down for a telephone company or somebody, I don't know. But that thing is sticking up higher than the other sidewalk, and it's a tripping hazard. Try to get rid of, people are walking throughout the summer on Summit Street sidewalks. The rest of it is Main Street, and one of them are gonna be all replaced here. But see what you can do to make Summit Street a lot more safety for tripping hazards, avoiding tripping on the sidewalks, and that brush coming out of city property or private property.
I will see. I will work on it.
Okay. I don't want to get into all this though. I want Jim. Also, I've had a plan with Jim on the lighting of the lower road. I don't know if the Minnesota Power ever came back for the study or not.
Yes, they did. Mr. Mayor, I met with them last Thursday or Wednesday on the lighting on the lower road. I am waiting to hear back from them on prices. So once I find out prices on that lower road, I will bring it forward to council.
Good. All right. And thanks for getting that, I don't know if you heard, Indiana Avenue got taken care of, right? Before the
Yes, I
letter.
know.
Yeah. All right. What else we got now? Televising services. Well, what was that televising services? Was that on the lower road as you're talking about, or is that?
I think that was under John's business.
Yeah, but that was on some other areas of town, wasn't it?
The stuff I wanted to do, yes. The stuff I brought forward last week was, yes.
Yeah, right. We did that already.
Yeah. And you guys approved that. Yep.
How about that one alley, manhole to manhole, where the residential person had a great water sewer damage? Are we going to do that? Is that on your list here to?
I
bring to the
know
council?
John was probably gonna do some costs coming up, and I don't know if we're gonna apply for a project this summer, or if we're gonna wait till next summer on that.
Well, I would hope that you bring that to the council's attention now, because $10,000 worth of damage was a lot of damage, and I don't want to see that happen again over there.
No,
Even though we're kind of assuming that roots don't grow that fast. Just because we got them clipped off now doesn't mean we don't know how fast they're going to
right.
grow back. So I think we should not think about doing it in a year or two from now. Do it.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Okay.
Yep.
So bring that back to the council. And what happened? Tree roots went through our sewer line We augured them out, caused $10,000 worth of damage. Backed up in somebody's basement. Those tree roots are still not dead, I don't think, no. But we got a problem with that line is probably many weeks somewhere, you know? The whole line is probably thin someplace to let tree roots push through a pipe. No. So let's get that under, I don't want to see, have anybody have to go else on that, alley from manhole to manhole, wherever that is, taken care of. Oh,
We will get a cost for you.
okay. I see we have a city attorney here. City Attorney Brian,
Good afternoon, Mayor. Sorry I'm late.
it's okay. I understand. You got anything for us?
No formal report, Mayor, but I am happy to answer any questions the council may have.
Okay. Anybody in council? All right. Well,
I do, if this is the right time for this or not. Going back to the recommendation from Attorney Lindsay to have a blight committee or a blight board as opposed to what are the legal benefits to having the board as opposed to something more casual?
Mayor, if I may.
Brian, before you start, at our beginning of our working session, we had a couple members of that task force here,
Mhm.
and they're not going to sign up for that board.
Okay.
So I'm going to have nobody on this board now. And we're going to looking for people to be on this board. So I try to explain to them and also that you said there was benefit to the city legally to have a board versus a staff committee. So there you are.
Thank you, Mayor. And so the opinion that I had initially given and the benefit that attaches to the city and to the members of the body, however we form it, the more formalized body of being a board as opposed to a less formal, a task force or a working group, it creates more of an agency between the city and the board. And number one, it has a greater tendency to extend our insurance coverages, our league insurance coverages to the actions of the board. And number two, it could potentially give them more authority or more options as it relates to conducting their business. And so those are the primary benefits that I see from having a more formalized group. We can, however, do it as a less formalized group. We would just need to kind of talk about it a little bit more and see what exactly it is we want them to do. And that may, as far as issuing citations or enforcement, they may just have to work more closely with the law enforcement officers, chief teacher, and his staff.
Well, right now, I'm going to keep the board intact and we'll put on the board for people to apply for the blight board and economic development board because they're not abolished yet. They're still looking for membership. Economic development board, one member on the water light board. I have an opening on the water light board for one member. Economic development board needs membership and the blight board needs membership. The other boards are full, so we'll keep it going for a while. Let's see if we get any activity. So, Councillor Heisman, are you okay with this explanation?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Lindsay.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions for Brian? All right, I think you'll be coming up with a few other things on the agenda here, okay, Brian? Yeah. All right, the library director is not here. Campground director Wendy Flanagan is here. How you doing? You
I'm
can-
doing great. Actually, I want to thank you guys for all having me take this position because I'm loving it. It
Yeah.
is wonderful. I've been working on the campground, trying to get it cleaned up and ready for campers. I've had 17 campers come in so far. Basically, by the 28th, I'll have 43 more campers coming in, so we'll be full. So I'm looking forward to it.
Okay,
I have one other thing. I've had a couple of campers come to me and said, we can't find the campground. We drove past it and not seen it. And they suggested that there be a sign up where you turn to go down into the campground.
okay, as far as I know, there's one over here by the library, in front of the library on a pole.
Yeah,
It's turn right, and then we have the big billboard up by the Gilbert sign up in front, as you come into
Mhm.
town. It says, where to turn on Wisconsin Avenue, I think it says.
yeah.
So,
What they're looking at is they drove right past the road going into the campground. See, they're driving right past it, trying to find where they're supposed to turn down.
so if they're coming down lower Sherwood
Mhm.
Forest Drive from that direction, there's no turn right here.
Right,
All we need is a sign down here
mhm,
by that intersection, right?
right.
I thought maybe there was one there.
Mhm.
No? So we should get one, huh? We can put one there somewhere.
Mayor, this
Mr.
is
Mayor,
Sam.
Who's first? Sam?
I know we worked on with our development group that we had last year, with the campground, they did some signs and some wayfinding signs that we did put into the project for next year. And I could work with Jim on getting prices on a sign that we could put up down in that intersection, that lower intersection. What we would want to put down there. on
We
the
have
pole.
Commissioner Skirbick, are you on there? Campground Commissioner Skirbick, was that you? Paul? She's on there.
I think she's frozen.
You might be locked up.
a pretty significant improvement to the entrance. I think it would be fine to do some temporary signs for this year, but I think that's something that will need to be addressed in terms of the fitting in with the larger plan to make sure that it's consistent with what the city is doing as far as traffic, as well as how we want people to come into the campground.
Exactly, yeah. I think there was something that that lady with the ARDC had something going on with that, right?
Yeah, wayfinding was part of our overall campground strategy. Yes.
Okay.
So if we went with some sort of temporary sign this year as we roll out the campground master plan, I think that would work out
Okay.
fine.
Has the campgrounds looked at that plan? Have they given that plan?
They were just established, had their first meeting, so we'll get copies for them for their next meeting.
Okay. All right. Okay, so something's in the works, right? Okay, Wendy, you still up?
Yep, I'm on. Other than that, there is one other thing. When you're coming around, they need to know that the D section of the campground is also a one-way, so that they're not driving halfway around the loop and then circling back through. So there's no sign that says one way.
Okay, how's the campground board meet every once a month or no? Or-
Yep.
that could be brought up at the campground and they can
Okay.
recommend
Mhm.
to Sam to take care of it or come back to the next council meeting,
Okay,
whatever needs
sounds
to be
good.
done. Okay,
That's all I had. Thank you.
okay. Any questions by the council for Wendy? Thank you, and again, welcome aboard. And hopefully the board and yourself can make that one swell of a campground down there and make the improvements. You got my support. Any improvements is always a plus for that. Instead of just not doing anything at all, okay?
Right.
Yeah.
I would like to see a few things done in there. I'm making a list.
Yeah.
So I'll bring that up to the
Some-
campground committee.
Something came to my mind right now is that leftover from last year was shingling of the restroom area. There was, the restroom was supposed to be bad too, right?
Oh, re-roofing it?
Yeah,
Re-roofing? We can ask John where we are with that. Yeah, I think that was, we did the office last year. We had the restroom to do this year.
right. So leftover from last year. Are we using the restroom?
Yes, we are. I have put in a COVID plan for making sure that it's disinfected regularly. And I've got signs up. And so I think it's going to be safe.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, council, any questions for Wendy?
Thanks, Wendy.
Okay, Dave, thank you.
Thank you.
Executive Administrative Clerk, Mr. Jim Paulson.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to continue on with the campground thing. I'd like thank you to Wendy. She really hit the ground running there. I'd like to thank the campground committee. They're hitting the ground running. Everything starts right when the season is kicking off. And Crystal Brown did a nice job while she was here setting Wendy up for success. So it's really been a team effort and it's appreciated, and I applaud all the efforts there. And plus the fact that we opened the first weekend of May, which is a little earlier than we anticipated. So, but everything's working out real well. So thank you to everybody. Secondly, just to let the city council know and the citizens know, on Thursday, May 27th, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., the St. Louis County Public Health Department will be bringing their mobile vaccination trailer to City Hall. So citizens can come on down, and if they choose to get the vaccine, there's an opportunity for them. And we'll have that, we'll put that on the board out there. But that is Thursday, May 27th. So that day there will be no parking in the City Hall parking lot because that's where the trailer is going to be set up. So
All day?
they will be here from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Yep. And then the audit started today. And I guess the best way I can say that is, when you're at the beach and you jump in, right, and it all looks nice and sandy. And when you go through the water and you hit what you think is ground, and all of a sudden you're up halfway between your ankle and your knee in muck. We started the audit today. It's all good stuff. So they're going to be here a couple of weeks. They got 4 of them here. So busy day, but that's good. So, and the rest of my items are agenda items, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Anybody on the council have anything to ask of our clerk, Jim? Other,
Yeah, I have one question.
Leone?
When we heard about that boy dying at one of the pits, our pits are they well signed warning everybody?
I think so. Me and Ty talked a little bit about that when that happened. And, we have a yearly inspection done to make sure the fence is intact around there. And then, throughout the year, Sam and his crew, when they're notified or when they come across fences out, they repair that. Same with Ty and his crew. So I think we're about as safe as we can be. you know, when we take a look at the fence line around there, you know, without, you know, we don't have a daily or weekly or monthly, you know, patrol, you know, looking at those. But when they come up, we fix them and we think we're about as safe as we can be.
For some counselors that may not know, Jim, how's that program work that City of Gilbert does the repair work and supplies are funded by Wineland Reclamation?
Wineland Reclamation, yep. And they come through and they give us an aerial, you know, and they show us on the map where the holes are, and it's a pretty good partnership with them to make sure that access is, you know, restricted. It doesn't stop people from driving through the fence all the time. So, I mean, there's repairs, you know, quite often, but we stay on top of them as best we can.
Councilor Leone, you know, satisfied with that? Yeah. Yeah, Gilbert is trying to be on top of it as best we can, keep up with it, but it is never ending. And I don't know how we can stop folks from cutting our fencing here. Bye-bye. Thanks for coming. Is there any way to stop that? I don't know. But we have to patch them back up. And I want to ask people, please do not cut the fencing. You never know who's walking around that area, right around that area, how old these individuals are, and somebody could wander and get seriously hurt. The fence is up there for a reason. Stay away or stay out. And on the same note, we got the cliff situation we haven't addressed yet. That's coming up. And I'm going to just throw this out there for council. Consider this, and then we might have to come back and maybe get some help with Wineland Reclamation on it. I think because all our economic development successes for the Lake Orbegon area want Gilbert to keep that intact over there, not blown up. Because some economic puzzle, another private party might want to lease that bit of land and do some legalized cliff diving on their own insurance, you know what I mean? But without that attraction, we might not get that private entity to come to Gilbert, okay? With what else is that? Zip lining, cliff diving, blah, blah, blah. There's been talk about certain private companies may want to do that in our master plan that we developed for Lake Orbegon. If that's gone, that could, I don't know, cancel everything. But having said that, in the meantime, we're responsible and we don't allow cliff diving. Gilbert has keep out signs, have fencing there that keeps on getting put down. I'm almost considering, here's my idea here. I don't know how big of an area. I think it's just one big rock ledge. Put a baseball backstop behind this thing, you know what I mean? Behind this rock, around this rock, you know what I mean? Cliff. Baseball backstop real high. You can't climb it to get into it. And it's from ledge to ledge, you know what I mean? So the only way you can climb it is climbing up the ledge to get onto it. Maybe you can't do that. You follow my opinion? You picturing this?
I can, if you're asking my opinion directly.
Yeah.
It's already fenced. The fencing around that already exists, and you can continue to try and safeguard it. But the same people that are tearing down the signs and cutting holes in the fence, I think would probably do damage to that as well, in my humble opinion.
Even with a big, like, can you picture this big backstop fence? You know,
Well, that gives them something else to climb, to jump off of.
Climb right over it.
And I'm not trying to be a negative Nelly, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah.
Those cliffs have been there for a very long time. and they've been unsafe for a very long time. And people choose to behave irrationally at their own risk.
Again, Gilbert does not condone it. We don't allow it, right? We're on the spot. Stay out of that area. Law enforcement will be down there and you'll subject to a fine, penalty. We don't allow it. Stay away. Keep out and don't cut the signs down and don't cut the fencing down. And again, it's going to be maybe an attraction someday to bring people into Gilbert with this plan for Sherwood Forest that we have. Spend a lot of money on. I don't know. You're not aware of that plan, are you, Councilor Heisman? We're going to get the Sherwood Forest Committee and the council. Okay. All right. This is this place, Counselor, that we got air this stuff out, not on corner or that street over there and stuff like that. It's got to be because the citizens are watching. And this is where I want the citizens to get their information from, the right information. What the council is up to, what we're doing, what we're not doing, right here. It's either in the minutes, on the website, and the TV. Anything else for Jim? Oh. Acknowledgement of boards and commission minutes. Range Association Municipalities and Schools Board minutes. 3/25/21. This is Rams.
Move.
I'll second.
Moved by Councilor Scannell, supported by Councilor Pulis. To approve these minutes of 3/25/21 Rams. More discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. They had enough discussion. They had enough attendance over there. I don't remember getting. I might have missed that announcement of that meeting. They have
They're not real consistent sending that out.
huh?
They're not real consistent
No.
sending that out.
I don't remember getting it, so it could be my fault or whatever. Otherwise, I would have attended. So, but they had a good attendance, and I trust everybody on that, making proper decisions for all of us anyway, for all our communities. Biosolids disposal. Biosolids disposal site authority minutes of April 14th, 2021.
Move.
Moved by Councilor Skensich, supported by Councilor Heitzman to approve those minutes. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Tri-Cities Biosolid Disposal Authority minutes.
I'll move.
I'll support.
Moved by Councilor Fuller, supported by Councilor Heitzman. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Planning and Zoning Commission minutes of April 5th. Approve the minutes.
I'll move.
Second.
Moved by Councilor Skensich, supported by Councilor Pulis to approve the planning and zoning minutes of April 5th. Discussion. Only thing I want to pass on to planning and zoning. Access road to Kerry Zier property they would like estimate from the city engineer on these options and to see what happens prior to putting funds into road expansion. I don't know if they're aware that the city council is already committed to providing access to that piece of property. So,
Yes, they are aware of that,
okay.
but they want some estimates on some different options.
You have different options there. Yeah, well, we've got 3 options. We don't know that, but they do know that the council has been already committed to one of these options, whatever it be.
Yes, they do, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. 7-day board minutes of April 6th, 2021.
I'll move.
I'll support.
Moved by Councilor Skinsich, supported by Councilor Heitzman to approve the cemetery board minutes of April 6th, 2021. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. I'll just say I was at the ROC meeting, our ROC, and Mayor Coffey, Mayor Peggy Anderson of Mount Iron, myself, and Joe Koivunen of Eveleth, as Councilor of Eveleth, were there, and with the Mesabi Hurling Club board members. We had a good meeting. I think I brought some paperwork back and of the physical paperwork of the board over there, and how much money is there and all that kind of stuff, right, Jim?
Yes.
So if the council wants to, you didn't put in an agenda here, did we? Oh, right? Yeah, next one. Okay.
Before we move on to old business, Mr. Mayor, if I could circle back, if I could at this
Sure.
time, to address Mr. Jamnik and Mr. Paulson to see what we've learned from talking with Gilbronsons about digging up at the northwest corner of the cemetery for seeking depths for the ledge rock that's supposedly there. And if Mr. Jamnik can coordinate with Gilbronsons to make a
Last I understand, they were scheduling a excavation with Sam. Sam might have a better update on the schedule on that.
Sam was coordinating that with Gilbronson and John, so we'll defer to
Yeah.
Sam.
Okay, if I can interject, if I may interject, at the recommendation of Mr. Kivola on the cemetery commission, cemetery board, at any rate, making sure that digging and exploring up there is conducted in a methodical manner that actually yields verifiable and long-term results that are decipherable to not only us now, but in the future moving forward, knowing what we have, so that it's not just a bunch of willy-nilly holes dug and say, yep, looks like it's about 3 feet. Well, we need to have a cohesive, coherent plan in place before the digging actually begins. Is that something we can work to achieve?
Yes, we can.
That is the intent, and I agree with you, and I've maybe jumped ahead on the actual scheduling of the work. But that is the intent, is to do the inventory of what's done and a plan in the 3 or maybe 4 locations up there.
I think Councilor Heitzman, that was for drainage and for rock ledges to get that properly drained right, and from corner to corner throughout the middle, whatever spacing it is, but we want to know, Councilor Heitzman, where the rock is from corner to corner on the quadrant, on that upper area, and maybe down on that bottoms area, whatever. But right now you're talking about the quadrant. That's where the $1,000 was supposed to be spent on. Only
Specifically, yeah, the digging has already been approved for that upper 2 quadrants in the northwest corner, but we may need to address the farther north section of the property so that we can have an idea how deep that is. I guess it'd be the north option and what it's going to take to figure out what's underneath that, to find out if that property is either usable now or what will it take to make it usable as part of our existing cemetery plan.
John, Sam?
Yep, I believe that's what we were gonna do. The 2 quadrants in, we call them Potter's Field, the open field in the cemetery. We were gonna do those. I was figuring about 12 to 14, 12 to 15 holes, you know, along the top wall, maybe about 6 feet down, all the way across, 4 or 5 holes. And you come down halfway, do another 4 or 5 holes, and come down towards the road, do another 4 or 5 holes. Across that, just kind of like a grid pattern. Then up in that northwestern corner outside the cemetery where the city owns, I was thinking about having them do about 4 or 5, maybe even 6 potholes up there where we had John's guy up there, and we can get the depths and everything there. So it was kind of on the plans to do that anyways, Mark. So thank you.
Okay. All right.
Thanks, guys.
And do you fear anything down there in the Bottoms area, other than just running into some sewer line about 6 feet down, abandoned sewer line or water line? There should be no rock ledges down there, right?
As far as talking with him, no. Just as you go up the hill, he mentioned about in the middle of the hill on the water lines higher up, the depth was about 5 feet, I think he had for burial depth of those water lines. So, you know, that's what he mentioned to me.
What are your bearings at now?
We're roughly about 5 feet,
Okay.
5.5 to the bottom.
Mhm. All right. Anything else? Okay, we're going to under old business. Anything on the wastewater treatment plant update?
No, it's running the same. It's still running. We did a CIP clean today, so it was a little bit longer day for him down there. So we'll see how it turns out tomorrow and the rest of the week. That's about all I can say. Other than that, I appreciate everybody making that last meeting we had. That was a good meeting. So.
Okay, we have another one scheduled for the 18th, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Minnesota Highway 37 update, other than starting next week, right?
Right, I see the signs going in and the detour stuff, signs going up. So I would expect them to start doing removals sometime next week. I believe we have a meeting. Is it tomorrow, John, at 1 o'clock?
1 o'clock, yeah, across the street at the
ICO parking lot there, the first one of the year. So we'll probably get an update of exact start dates, if it's exactly Monday morning or what. So.
Okay. And ground storage tank bids, council, we're back on that, and I hope everybody reviewed this. My recommendation is not kicking the can any further. We tried to get a cheaper bid, it did not work. Not that we tried, and to get more players involved with this bid, it didn't happen for whatever reason. I don't want John to speak about it yet too. To move it down, well, first it was it hasn't been touched since it's been built. And that's in the 60s, number one. That was told to us a couple of years ago. Number two, that was supposed to be done before this higher tank almost fixed. That was a priority, but we switched the priority around, I think, and did this one first. The costs are going to go up. things are going up now already. I heard the 2x4s are double. I don't see any benefit to the city to kick this can down the road and it'll cost more. Let's get it done. We have a bonding bill going on right now. I mean, for this project, it was included in there. Let's get it done for the bid of 264, 600 with the alternative number one. And we did get some grant work already from here. We don't even lose that grant work if we don't get that done. It only hold it up for 2 years.
The IRRB grant?
Yeah.
The IRRB grant, yeah, that was for about
25,000.
125,000 or so.
If you go 2 years,
Yeah.
that's gonna be gone.
And also, just so the council's aware, when we did the temporary bonding for projects, we were going by their estimate of 85 to 90,000. So that's what we kind of estimated in there. So that's what we had in temporary funding. Anything over that is going to have to come out of the water plant unless we are able to get rid of the temporary funding before this bill becomes due. So I just want everyone to be aware of that. We did not anticipate 264,000 plus an ad alternate in our bonding bill.
It ain't gonna get any better.
No, I just want council to be aware of that. We're not sitting on, almost $400,000 that we earmarked for this project. We're sitting on, about 90,000 that we earmarked for this project.
Right. And then we got the grant in, right, for 1.4 million?
That did not include that up there. We're waiting for that to be finalized.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's gonna pay for almost phase one. Phase one loan.
Yeah. If it comes through as final, that's,
Yeah.
we've been waiting. And I know John's been back and forth with the PFA and, for the last, I don't know, what do you think, John? Last 3 weeks, we've had, 4 or 5 emails, and every time they send us an email back, it says, oh, we need one last thing. We need one last thing. We need one last thing. It's been going on for a month like that. So am I confident in the $1.4 million grant? I hope.
See, they haven't adjourned yet down there in St. Paul, So that's what they're waiting for, get that adjournment and that. Hopefully there's no changes. Until they adjourn, with that in place and no changes, they're not gonna be able to give us a final answer. But they're playing around with some, I don't know what they're playing around, something down there. And hopefully there's no changes. And then once no changes, then they adjourn the deal. It's done. So we gotta wait for that. So that's my recommendation that we go ahead and do this. And John, what do you think?
Well, again, I agree with the base bid of 164. Again, the second quarter round, we got the $120,000 grant. Sam and I have been talking about whether or not we want to do the ad alternates or just come up with a more simpler plan to do the roofing part. Get the structural work, repair the concrete structural done, modifications done, some piping work done, all with the base bid of 264. I mean, I don't know, Sam, what you think, but we talked, maybe we could come up with a better roofing plan than what's in this ad alternate here.
And that was my thought too on this, just because it came in so high. Do we hold off on the roof part and we do it a couple of years down the road, or do we do it kind of water plant with a water plant ad alternate on the water plant deal? To get the funding, to have the funding for the structure. That could be done. I mean, it was up there 40 years without it. It's just a flat concrete surface. I always intended it's always better to get water and snow and whatnot, especially in the colds, to run off That's why we put it as an ad alternate. But, you know, it's always good to go forward with the whole project, including the ad alternate. But in this case, if we don't have the extra, I can't remember, this was $120,000 extra, we could hold off for, say, a couple of years till we look for some better funding or look for some funding, and it'll help out.
No, we got the grant is specifically for the roof. No?
Part of the, I don't have that breakdown in front of me. Part of it was for the roof.
Yeah.
So would some of that grant money go away if we did not do the roof?
Yeah,
I believe so. I'd have to take a look at it again, but I believe so.
again, my recommendation is, again, do the 264. What was the last bid? I can't remember. It was 237, 237. Now it's 264. It was went up 30 grand.
Yeah, in the background, part of your council action request, I did put that in there. In February, the base bid was 237,
Yeah.
650. So it's went up about $30,000.
Yeah. Well, that's my recommendation, to just bite the bullet, get it done, and get her done. And get her done right. And we'll worry about the rest when we get there. That funding part of it. I'm sure that 1.4 is going to be okay, not change it. They're not playing around with any of those, that kind of stuff. They're playing with other things in that budget, so. So that 1.4 on phase one and a 2.2 million on phase two, out of the 3.4, 1.4 is going to be taken care of. So. And out of that 1.4, 300, that has to come out of a electrical fund anyway, because 1.4, out of 1.4, 300 of that was our share of the electrical. You know, that'll carry over, come out of there, right? Actually, we haven't taken that out of the electric fund to pay that 1.4, right?
We have not taken that out yet.
Right.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying. That, so we're going to gain that 300. You know what I'm saying?
I do. And, you know, I'm not recommending that we not do this this year. But I think if we do the base bid and we look at the roof system, otherwise known as the ad alternates, at a later time.
That's fine with me too. Let's get the main, let's get this water, it's important. This ground tank is important. The base purpose is to make sure that thing is operational. Okay?
Well, I guess I would make that motion that we go forward with the base repairs, base bid, and at this time hold off on the ad alternates. And as Sam and John said, that they may have different systems or different ideas at a cheaper cost down the line, but
At a cheaper cost, but yeah.
Before I make my support for this, could you clarify a little bit what Sam was referring to about losing a portion of that monies that were available by not including this roofing project?
Yeah, and I'm going on my best recollection here. I don't have it right in front of me, but the IRRB grant broke down different segments of the project and what was awarded in grants in those different segments. Part of that segment was a roofing system. So if we don't do that roofing system, we may lose that part of that grant.
That money or that amount of monies wouldn't cover the entirety of that roofing system.
That is correct.
Do we have an idea, half, a fourth? Just
My best recollection is that was about 40,000 of that grant was for this add alternate roofing system.
my point is that I hate to see free money, and I don't mean free money in that sense, but grant money cast aside if it's in our best interest to use it. So let me mull on that one for a minute, because that $143,000 or $145,000 roof with a $40,000 grant to it just became $100,000 and not $145,000.
Again, like I say, I'm okay with not doing it, but my first recommendation was to do alternate one and the base, and this to get it done. But I'm okay with other council didn't want it, but we're not gonna lose that money, exactly, yeah.
Mayor and council, if you'll excuse me, I can go call up the grant real quick and confirm those numbers.
I'd appreciate that, Jim.
Yeah, same here.
Sam, John, I don't know what your thoughts are, if that's, like even saying if we went with add alternate 2 for 110, if you're taking $40,000 off that, then it's a $70,000 add-on rather than a $110,000 add-on.
Mr. Heitzman, yeah, you're right on the mark with what you're thinking there. I mean, it's best to do the whole project if some of that money is going towards the roof, or if most of that money is going towards the roof. It is better to add that roof as the alternate to get it paid for and done.
If somebody's willing to pay 40% of it, yeah.
Right.
I'd buy a lot more things for my own personal life. Just saying, that's
Right.
how it is.
Sam, didn't they do a coating on the top of that years ago?
Yeah, we did a coating. It didn't work out. I didn't think it didn't work out the best. It was a paint-on coating. They said it was guaranteed for so many years, and it didn't last. Where I was mainly concerned was on the edges, where the roof cap of that structure and the sidewalls meet. There's a lot of spalling out of the concrete, where the guy that was putting it on said it shouldn't do that and this and that, and it wasn't bad after the third year, but 4 or 5 years after, it really started spalling out now, and it's only getting worse. That's why I kind of wanted to get a roof on it so it would run off, the water would run off, especially in the your springtime, and is the worst time of year for it. You get the freezing and thawing at night. You get that concrete, concrete being porous, it soaks up water, then it freezes, and it pops that stuff in the morning, when it freezes. So that's how your spalling works. And it was really tough on those edges there. So that's why I think the roof structure would be the best thing for us to have, is, so it would run off the edges.
That membrane you're speaking of?
Yeah. I know I did get a sample of the coating that they gave me, a sample of the coating here. On this brick, I don't know if you guys can see it. This is the coating that they proposed. It's a pretty thick coating. I don't know, it's almost like a big spray on bed liner, but it's smooth. I still don't know how that would hold up to sun and cracking and whatnot, but that's their proposal, was this spray on, and that was the other proposal that they had. But I'm almost a fan of the rubber roof, to where it would run off instead of this. I don't know. Did you want me to run it over? I could run it over quick if you want to take a better look at this.
I guess that'd be up to anybody if they'd want to see it closer. Otherwise, like you're saying, it's kind of like a spray bed liner.
Yeah.
Trying to soak in that the porosity of the concrete that you're talking about, as opposed to just covering up with the rubber roofing system. How long would you expect the rubber roofing? 20 years?
I don't know. I'm thinking, quite a long time because nobody should be on there. It's a non-heated place. I don't know how, they are putting some insulation down. So I don't know how it's going to react to the heat from the water, but it shouldn't be too bad, and that water should run off. We might have to reseam it here and there, but usually your rubber roof systems are usually at least 30, 35 plus years. It's the seams that go bad where you might have to, put a little bit of more glue on the seams or have somebody come in and reseam it here and there.
I hear you.
If we went that route, is that something they put rock on also, or is that just a membrane on there?
That's just a membrane.
Okay.
Just a membrane, yeah.
I think the trend has been away from the rock on top of the black rubber. At least that's my experience with the recent school roofs, and I believe even the fire department building, they vacuumed off the rock, right, and then put the black rubber without the ballast on top of it.
No, the ballast is still up on City Hall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's all up on the roof of the City Hall and the fire hall.
The roofs we went with at the school, both on the Gilbert campus and on the Evelyn campus, they vacuumed off all that ballast, and it's just the black rubber roof is left exposed with no ballast on it.
Yeah.
We were just discussing the different options. Sam had an example or a sample of the coating system that they had proposed, and then he was kind of explaining just maybe some benefits of going, if we went with it with the membrane rather than the coating.
Okay, that's alternate number one, right?
Right.
Like I said, I originally asked for the base 264, 6 plus alternate number one, and we'll figure out the ramifications later, but get it done. But if council didn't want to wait, it's going to cost more money, but I think it should be done at some point in time, the roof. But if not now, I was willing just to go and do it with the basic operational part of the, what's the council want to do? I'm okay with.
I'm curious to see what the actual loss would be to not take advantage of the grant money from the IRRB right now.
Oh, that's what we're doing? Okay.
Also, I'm open either way for it. So
my recollection that it was
See how this goes.
$125,000, all 125 just for the roof. Nothing for the rest of it. That's my recollection of reading that grant. Okay, now he says parts this and parts that. My recollection, but my reading, that whole grant went just towards the roof and not towards the rest of it. So if that went 125 towards the 145, then we're only out 20. Follow me? That's my recollection.
I hear you that we can't table it if the bid is only good through May 22nd. This isn't something we can pass the buck anymore. We have to make a decision.
Like I said, it's just going to get worse. We tried to get a better deal. We didn't get enough interest in other businesses, and I think if we don't act on it now, it's going to cost us more money and maybe more problems if we push it down any further. So again, I think the grant for the IRRB was only just for the roof. But we'll move on, okay? We'll come back to that, all right? We'll take up Sandra, you're okay to take the rest of them? I don't know what Jim's doing, or minutes or motions or what? Or should we wait for him to finish?
Council, that would be at your discretion. if you'd like to wait or continue on.
We can wait. I can do this, Chikagami, I gotta read this thing, I know. I'll ask Jim what he wants to do here. It's very
I
important.
had to ask.
Huh?
I had to find out the information,
No,
so.
no, it's very good. These are good points. Yeah. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. That's what we're here for. Get it done right. Get it done right. You got questions? I'm gonna move out to one of our agenda items here, additions to our agenda, I mean, Resolution 2021-11, where the Gilbert Alibi Bar has previously had Chikagami Gaming providing their charitable gambling activities, that be at both halves, I've imagined, at their location. The Alibi Bar has chosen to replace the Chikagami gaming operations with the Virginia Elks Lodge charitable gambling. And such they need okay by the city council for that gaming to happen. Authorization. So I'm going to read the resolution and we'll take a vote on it, all right? Okay. I believe in my past that resolutions in no public here, it should be on record, the resolution be read aloud for people who are listening or will be listening to the audio here and watching on TV. Not just take it for granted what we're doing here, you know? They're listening. Okay. Okay, I don't know if I was gonna do the charitable gambling thing, but let's go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, funding source for the $125,000 grant, repair and coating, $55,000, diaphragm roof, $50,000, site work, small shed, $20,000. That is the $125,000 grant, made up of those three components.
Nothing to do with the main part of the tank.
Repair and coating, $55,000. Diaphragm roof, $50,000. Site work, small shed, $20,000.
It's up to from 40 to 55 now.
40 to 50. Yeah, I did my best recollection of 40, but it was 50.
50. So 50 minus 4, 145.
And
95.
that's the specific roof type that they're referring to. Is that correct? That 50,000 wouldn't apply to the coating. It's specific to the rubber roofing.
And we could ask John as he did the details of the grant or the application, but diaphragm roof, I took that to mean the accessory roof structure.
And that would be adult one.
Correct. And John can correct me if I'm wrong.
I think that's correct, yeah.
That's how it reads to me, is that if you do the adult one, then you get the 50 grand. If you do the adult two, which is cheaper, you lose the money for the 50. So all of a sudden, adult one became less expensive rather than more expensive. That's almost a third. That's actually over a third of the, they're paying more than 30% of that adult one.
Yeah.
That's hard for me to pass up.
Okay, you can change your motion, that's all.
Yeah, can I change it or should I retract it and
Because nobody,
nobody,
well, you can withdraw it because nobody seconded anyway, so.
okay. I'll withdraw it and I will make a new motion that we go with the base bid and add alternate one with the roof membrane system
On the ground storage tank.
on the ground storage tank, yes.
I'll second that.
Motion by Councillor Skensich, supported by Councillor Heitzman to award the bid to KLM for the ground storage tank at the base of $264,600 with the add alternate number 1 of $145,300. Any more discussion on that?
I regret that the cost of doing work continues to climb, but it's work that needs to be done, and we have an opportunity for a funding mechanism to cover part of it. And the longer you wait, the more it costs.
Yes, correctly. Any more discussion? John, you're okay with that recommendation?
Yeah, the contractor is actually, it's DN Tanks, not KLM. KLM was your engineer design.
Okay, let's get that right. BM Tanks.
So you're awarding it to DN Tanks, not KLM.
Okay, okay. Change of not KLM, BM Tanks. What does the BM stand for? Don't you know? No? John? You know what BM stands for? Or is that just the name of the company, BM?
That's on your, in the agenda package, it's after the memo, it's DN Tanks is the 264,600 base bid.
I'm not seeing BM anywhere here.
D as in dog.
DN.
Dog Nancy, DN.
DN. That's not on this page.
No, the next
It's
one,
on the bid tabulation.
I'm looking at that too.
far left, first column.
It shows stock painting as the other, someone that bids relate.
DN Tanks, right there. All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. I didn't know there was a contract and then name. It's done, right, John?
It's done. I'm going to reserve a spot here to come back to the council in a couple of months and ask for some money to pay for this because the water fund does not have it. So I just letting the council know that I will be back. I will figure out how we're going to pay for this, a mechanism, and I will be back to ask the council for approval to transfer those funds.
You still got, when are we gonna up that bond,
That'll be next year. That'll be in the spring.
but you got that money, right? In the bank.
Yeah, we, about 85 to 90,000 we earmarked for this project. It's a far cry from the 409,000, then the grant 284. That's good. The 84, 85,000 we earmarked, we got $200,000. So I will find where we're going to get that, and I will come back to the council.
Thanks, Jim.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I'll just say, we don't have any of that money right now. The whole 2 million. Let alone 200,000. So we gotta, we're waiting for the fee plan.
That's it. You're right, because we don't know what we have coming in.
Right. That's.
So I like to present the worst case scenario because, hey, it's got to be better, right? When reality actually comes. So worst case scenario is we've got to find this money somewhere. Best case is it's covered with some of the other grants and loan programs already. But I hate to give that false sense of, hey, you said it was only going to cost us 18 cents a resident to add to the fee schedule, when in reality, it's $5. So I'd rather say it's going to be $5 and then come back and say, hey, it's only 18 cents.
And we did get a grant. I mean, was 237. Well, who, the bidder last week, and not the bid, but the estimate was 90 something. That we were told that.
Right.
When we went up for the bond, what could we do? We didn't.
Correct.
We weren't told it was 264.
That's correct.
We weren't told it was 237. either.
Right, their estimate was, 80 to 90.
Yeah, so we went out for the bond and that's what we got. And then we come back and the first bid is at 237 versus the 90. So he said, no, we only went out for looking for 90, right? So we got to get another bid, a better bid. No, here we get the second bid comes in and it gets worse. So we're trying to avoid it to get even worse than that. Or do nothing at all. And that's not acceptable either. So
Correct.
we got to do it and we thought it was going to be 90, but it's just getting worse and worse and worse.
Right.
So, all right. Now we're into new business, cemetery beautification volunteer project. Here's what we're trying to just, okay. Cemetery board authorize them to go ahead and accumulate or formulate volunteer crew to clean up and put on the Gilbert Center and give them the okay and approval to do so. So in case something happens, people are covered under our insurance, so. That's right?
That's correct, Mayor. And since that meeting, when we discussed this, that joint meeting, we did get that email from Donna Sauter saying they are shooting for May 25th at 4 p.m. That would be the day they would have the first group out there, the grass trimming volunteer group, along with the board. May 25th, 4 o'clock. Just give the council an idea of when they're looking at. So they didn't give me a second date, or they didn't say if this was all summer long. But if we approve the volunteer, this beautification committee, they could run multiple dates throughout the summer.
I'll support.
Moved by Councilor Poulos to approve the volunteer beautification committee to go ahead and proceed with their work in the city of Gilbert, be it cemetery or elsewhere. Supported by Councilor Heisman. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Special projects, Jim?
Thank you, Mayor. Crystal Brown resigned, earlier in April. So due to that resignation, a vacancy exists. I am requesting approval to post that job internally, and then I'll come back at the next council meeting. If no one has put in for that, I will come back and request that we advertise externally.
I'll make a motion to support that.
I'll second.
Moved by Councilor Heisman, supported by Councilor Poulos to authorize internal posting for administrative assistant special projects position, and if no internal posting as no internal application, to allow the clerk to go out externally and post by advertising for this position. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I'll stop right there. We got a Ty teacher. Ty.
Yes, good evening, Mayor, Council. Sorry, my meeting went about 2.5 hours, so I wasn't anticipating that. But I have nothing for the council this evening unless they have something to me.
Yeah, one thing we have, Ty, I've got some people approach me about a couple of things. One you know about already, I think you're working on it, is Summit Street up there where we did that by the holiday. It's going to be like a racetrack up there. Get some speed limit signs or something up there, right?
Yep, so we'll work on some signs. I actually had our intern run radar for a couple hours up there to determine what the speeds are. it's hard because there's not a lot of traffic up there. The fastest car that we were able to clock was 29 miles per hour. So the total average was about 22 miles per hour. And we actually ran radar about 5 blocks away, so they couldn't see us sitting there. So we were clocking away. So I'll have to talk to the individual that's making the complaints and try to find out when the times are and stuff to see if we get a little better radar readings, because there was such a low amount of traffic. We didn't have a very good, I would say, speed sample to determine whether there's a major problem there or not. But we will continue to try to monitor and grab some more readings from there to see what the speeds are like. But we can certainly try to get a sign up there.
Okay, so you're gonna talk to those folks, right?
Yep, I'll make contact with them. In fact, I may even give them a radar gun and they can see for themselves what the speeds are. Get a pretty good idea.
Good enough for me, yeah. That's only not even a half a block area there, but even at 20 miles an hour, that's pretty fast for that short distance there too.
Yeah, I had tried to. I took our Dodge Charger and I did kind of a hard acceleration out of there, and it's pretty hard to get up much above 40 miles per hour without having to stop at the intersection. So I'll talk to them and see what the deal with the speed is, if it's something other than that, because like I said, I don't think the speeds are overly high. We may have to we can put a 15 mile per hour speed limit sign there and see if that helps at all.
Okay, good enough for me. Yes, contact them so we can get their satisfaction there. Okay. And then I think there was one more on Summit Street, a yield sign that needs to be put up.
Yep, that's up by the Catholic Church. I'll talk to Sam. I know that one's a little bit more of a difficult spot because they're gonna have to go, I believe, right into the cement. So I'll hook up with Sam tomorrow and see if we can't come up with a game plan there.
Okay. Then the latest one I got was on Highway 135. At top of the hill coming down past Indiana Avenue. We have a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit sign there, right? Highway Department has.
Yep.
And then coming up the hill, right across Pleasant Street, coming up the hill is a 60-mile-an-hour speed limit.
Yep.
And so you got a 40 coming down in it one way and a 60 going up. And the folks coming off of Pleasant and up by Fourth Court, they're trying to get across the highway over to the bike trail by four-wheeler, by foot, and cannot do it because these folks are going 60, 70 already right there.
Okay.
And it's dangerous for them.
Okay. Yeah, I will talk to MnDOT and see if they're willing to move the speed limit sign further to the west, the 60-mile-an-hour sign. I'm not sure how far they're willing to go. Maybe they'll go as far as the 40-mile-an-hour transition spot.
Yeah, right across from the 40 up there.
Yep, and we have put a little extra patrol up there, and you've maybe even seen me sitting. I'm usually sitting on one side of the road or the other. Officer Burdach did write one for 81. I believe that was last week. So we did have a high flyer rocking through there pretty good, which 81's pretty good going through that area. But the speeds are definitely up a little bit. You'll see them regular in the 50s, and every once in a while you get them coming through at 60. But the other thing I can do is if there's a certain time that things are busy in the other, we could always put a decoy car out there too and park it there. Usually when people see a squad car sitting, they'll tend to slow a little quicker too. So that's something we can look at too during some of the busier days.
Yeah, but if you're you gotta tell them that you're starting 60 right at Pleasant Street.
Yep.
That's not, it's unacceptable there, so.
Yeah, I'll see if we can get it pushed a little bit further to the west.
Okay, no, all right. That's all I got for Ty. Anybody else, anything? Very good, that's enough. And there's no speed limit signs on lower Sherwood Forest Drive down there.
We have some 25-mile-an-hour signs down at the bottom, I believe is Indiana or Michigan West, and those are 25 there. Are you talking going to the south or going to the north?
Towards south, yeah.
Okay, we do have a sign there, I know. I'll get with Sammy, we'll see what we got for signs, see if we can post something in there too. Yep.
Very good. I hope you had a good police commission meeting, minutes, and then Brian, you want to speak to Ty about that board? Our conversation with the board, we're going to keep that board. I hope if we get it filled, we get it filled. If not, it's just like we don't get fill it. So I don't know, you guys gonna have to team up on this blight task force or blight board or whatever, so.
Mayor, I will get in touch with the chief and I'll head over and he and I can have a conversation about it.
Okay,
Your office looks cleaner. I think maybe I'll head your way.
yeah, okay. Okay, again, anybody, council? For Ty? No? All right, thanks, Ty.
Thank you.
Okay, core and main invoice, 31,000. Number 3, so this is for the water meters, as we're correct, or electric meters? Water meters, I think. $31,007.74, right? Payment number 3.
I'll move.
Motion by Councilor Pulis,
I'll support.
supported by Councilor Skinsich to approve the payment estimate number 3 to Core and Main for the work on the water meters at the cost of $31,007.74. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Wasabi bituminous invoice of $90,555.50. Now, John, is this for last year's work?
Yeah, actually it has, this was been sitting on somebody's desk since last fall. So this was actually work they completed through November 7th of 2020.
Yeah, it says that they haven't started it yet, but this has to be an old bill,
Yeah,
right?
that's correct.
Okay,
I'll move.
I'll second.
moved by Councilor Skinsich, supported by Councilor Pulis to approve Wasabi bituminous 2020-2021 infrastructure improvement project pay estimate number 3, an amount of $90,555.50. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Campground term appointments. We talked about that last meeting, and I'm reviewing original members of the committee, Campground, before we turned it into board, were Stephen Buria and Mr. Jeff Thiel. So this is, I gave everybody, and other members of the board have expressed their wish for amount of time, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or whatever be it. You see the schedule there. I'm recommending Jeff Milas, January 31st, 2022. Jennifer Story, January 31st, 2023. Paul Skirbick, January 31st, 2023. Term endings. And Steve Buria and Jeff Thiel, January 31st, 2024. Is that okay with the council? Make a motion to okay that?
I'll move.
Motion by Councilor Pulis, supported by Councilor Heitzman to approve the Campground Board term ending for the member appointments here of these board members in that order from 2022 to 2024. Any more discussion on that?
Mr. Mayor, just want to point out that that's different than what was requested. We specifically met as a board, and I had requested a 3-year term. Jeff Milas had requested a 1, and Jennifer Story had requested a 2. That would allow for the existing members, Jeff Thiel and Stephen Bergia, to choose between a 2 or a 3-year term.
That's correct. That's correct. You're right. But again, I just mentioned at the beginning that Steve Buria and Jeff Thiel have been on this board, or campground committee for Jeff for 2-3 years. And Steve Buria just got on a year ago. So I figure they got seniority, and the other three of you have come in afterwards. So I'm not gonna, they should stay, now that it's a board, a little bit longer than everybody else. So, and there's nothing to say that you people are not gonna get reappointed once your term ends, so. You follow me? So I'm just trying to be fair to those two, and then the three remaining just came on within the last year here now, so.
If I may, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Skirbick, were those the preferences of those board members to have the shorter terms up front?
It was basically, that was the discussion of the three board members that were present. And them were present at the meeting. It was basically just the three members. And
again, I understand.
so we wanted to extend them the ability to select longer terms.
Okay, these are my recommendations, and this is the way it should come down because of being fair to the previous members of this board and the new members coming in. The 20, and the only years are 22 to 24. There's no 3-year term or no length of the member terms right there. There's no a 4-year term or a 3-year term. Because we're in 2021 right now. If we want to go back to 2020, we could accommodate all those. We're not in 2020, we're in 2021. So we can't accommodate those 1 years or 3 years. Well, this is always going to come down right here. And any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. There you go. You bring that to the board there? Thank you. All right. And I'll tell Joe, Mr. Liaison, if you can, next board meeting, I hope you guys can tackle the rates for next year. So we can, for our budget coming up for the fall, to bring forward to the council to adjust those rates for the next year.
We'll do it for next year because
They've already been all scheduled, so we can't change it this year.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Okay,
It's
thank
in the
you.
plan.
Yeah, thank you. All right. And you're gonna get the board, all those ARDC plans to review, correct?
Yeah, the campground plan, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, street dance requests. I have no problem with the street dance request as long as all the paperwork and it satisfies our city attorney and city administrator, all the insurance to protect the citizens of Gilbert liability here.
I'll support.
Moved by Councilor Polis, supported by Councilor Heitzman to approve the street dance request upon the proper liabilities to the city of Gilbert as other years, correct, Jim?
That's correct, Mayor. We'll work with Ty on the street closure and our insurance on insurance requirements.
Okay. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. And the fireworks request. Same situation. Okay, the fireworks.
I'll move.
Ty, we're gonna be blocking off the streets and all that stuff. Moved by Counselor, I think Counselor Skinsich, were you gonna say support or Counselor Pulis? Moved by Counselor Heisman, supported by Counselor Pulis to approve the 3rd of July committee requesting sponsorship of the fireworks on City of Gilbert is covered for the liability by the 3rd of July committee insurance, and city attorney will approve that, and city administrator, correct? Make sure everything's in order.
Correct, Mayor. We'll make sure everything's in order.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Is there any miscellaneous there? No,
Nope, no, Mayor.
no miscellaneous. We'll take our additions. Number 1, consent agenda. Include the quick, our consent agenda. We spoke out there at our working session, and so we can get that started at the next meeting. Approve the consent agenda to be included inducted into our agenda, council agendas, the consent agenda.
I'll move.
I'll support.
Any more, moved by Councilor Pulis, supported by Councilor Heitzman to infuse the consent agenda into the city council agenda package as discussed with all the parameters of how to remove different items and for discussion, right?
That is correct, Mayor.
Any more discussion? And starting next council meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. We'll take the Sherwood Forest. Additional work at Sherwood Forest Recreation Area. City of Gilbert has $15,411.21 remaining in the grant funds for the work at the Sherwood Forest Recreation Area. Attaches a proposal for $32,700 worth of work at the beach and close to the ball field. $21,788.79 would come from the campground funds. $15,411.21 would be grant. This would close out the grant and allow us to apply for new grants and keep on improving bigger and better our Sherwood Forest campground. So I want to move to approve
I'll move.
this is a proposal of $32,700. Right, Jim? That's the grant, $32,700.
$32,700 for the work, and the grant is $15,411.21.
Yeah. Well, you want to okay that just to do the remaining work?
We're okaying that, yep, we're asking the council to okay this proposal to do this work.
Yeah. Okay.
Second.
Motion by Councilor Pulis, supported by Councilor Skinsich. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. All right, the Alibi Bar, again, I read that earlier, wants to move their license from the Camp Chickagami Charitable Gaming to Virginia Elks Charitable Gambling. I'll make a motion, so then I'll read the resolution.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Moved by Councilor Pulis, supported by Councilor Leone to approve this change from the Chickagami to Virginia Elks for the Gilbert Alibi Bar Gaming. Correct, Jim?
That is correct, Mayor.
Any more discussion? This is resolution 2021-11. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Resolution 2021-11. City of Gilbert, Minnesota resolution approving charitable gaming authorization to Virginia, Minnesota Elks Lodge Charitable Gaming Organization. Resolution number 2021-11. A resolution authorizing the Virginia Elks Lodge to take over the charitable gambling activities at the Alibi Bar. Whereas the Alibi Bar has previously and historically had the Chickagami Gaming provide charitable gambling activities at their location, and whereas the Alibi Bar has voted to replace the Chickagami gaming operations with the Virginia Elks Lodge charitable gambling, and whereas the Virginia Elks Lodge possesses the appropriate skill, experience, and licensure to conduct the charitable gambling operations sought by the Alibi Bar, and whereas the Virginia Elks Lodge and the Alibi Bar mutually desire and request authorization for the Virginia Elks Lodge to begin to provide charitable gambling activities to the Alibi Bar pursuant to the Minnesota Gambling Control Board rules and regulations, and obtain the proper permits and licensure to do so to begin no later than June 1st, 2021 at the Alibi Bar. Now therefore be resolved by the City Council of the City of Gilbert, Minnesota as follows, that the city hereby authorizes a transfer of the charitable gambling activities from the Chickagami Gaming to the Virginia Elks Lodge pursuant to the request of the Alibi Bar. Be it further resolved that the city hereby authorizes and directs the mayor and city staff to execute any and all documents necessary to effectuate this transfer. Passed by the City Council of Minnesota this 11th day of May 2021. And everything's in order too, right?
That is correct, Mayor, and I will double check with Deputy Clerk Goulin. She worked with the Bellingers on this, and I believe everything is in order. Correct, Sandra?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Thank you both. All right, approve the payment of bills and payroll upon proper audit by the clerk and mayor.
I'll support.
Moved by Councilor Heisman, supported by Councilor Skinsich to do just that, approve the payment of bills and payroll upon proper audit by the clerk and the mayor. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. I wish everybody a safe week, opening fishing weekend. And with that, we can adjourn. 8:18. Moved by Councilor Pulis, supported by Councilor Heisman to adjourn at 8:18. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. We are adjourned. Good night and thank you.